It's been a week since the 10th of November, 1 week since the blast near the Red Fort in Delhi, and the National Investigation Agency has arrested a Kashmir resident now.
Now, this Kashmiri resident had conspired with a suicide bomber to carry out the terror attack, which claimed 10 lives and left 32 others injured. Now, the agency arrested Amir Rashid Ali, in whose name, the car, a Hyundai i20 involved in the attack, was registered. He was arrested from Delhi a day after the NIA launched a massive search operation.
In a statement, the NIA said that its investigations revealed that the accused, a resident of Sambura Pampor in Jammu and Kashmir, had conspired with the alleged suicide bomber Omar Nabi to unleash the terror attack. Now, as per the anti-terror agency, Amir had come to Delhi to facilitate the purchase of this car, which was eventually used as a vehicle-borne IED to trigger the blast.
The NIA has forensically established the identity of the deceased driver of the vehicle-borne IED as Umar Nabi, a resident of Pulwama district and assistant professor in General Medicine Department in Al Farah University at Faridabad.
The anti-terror agency has also seized another vehicle belonging to Nabi, an EcoSport. The vehicle is being examined for evidence in the case, in which NIA has so far examined 73 witnesses, including those injured in the blast.
And well, to discuss more, we are now being joined live by B.L. Vora. He is the former Director General of Police for Tripura and Manipur. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, Mr. Vora. Nomar's close aide and owner of the I-20 has now been arrested. Just how would you assess this? How big is this plot? We look at the arrests that have been so far been made from the universities. These are assistant professors. How big do you think this terror plot is?
It's very big. And I think further investigations will reveal many more links. This is very well planned. See, there are some special features of this particular incident, which is a wake-up call for India. First, Delhi has been attacked after a gap of 14 years, which is a long gap. So comparative peace we had. So perhaps they thought that agencies now are complacent. So why not strike now? It does happen at times, the complacency does get in. Now, the second feature in this is, the educated are getting in now, being drawn in. Earlier, it was not so. Now, this is a very dangerous trend. So many doctors involved. Have you seen, people from Gujarat, from UP, from Haryana, from Kashmir, from all over. And this university is particularly under radar. And this lady, Dr. Shaheen, has been working for many years on this. Now, this is another dangerous feature. Third is, of course, security agencies did a great job. They had, of course, seen 2,900 kgs of explosives earlier on, as you know that. And it was a very big plan for 6th of December. They wanted to attack many cities simultaneously at the same time, avenging the Babri Masjid. But point is that so many plans, so many explosives, and even biological attacks were being planned now because fertilizers had been bought. Cars were being, this was accidental fire, I'm sure, at the Red Fort. But before that, police had already done quite a bit of work. They were planning to kill 50,000 people. We were saved by 13. Unfortunate, but well, still a very splendid job done by them. Now, another striking feature is Turkey's involvement. They say their handler was in Turkey. Earlier, it was Pakistan always. Either Pakistan has shifted some people there so
Mr.
that
Vora.
Pakistan...
Yeah, Mr. Vora, allow me to come in there. Turkey, of course, from their end have completely distanced themselves from any kind of involvement in any terror plot emerging in India. That was the statement that came out. But if I were to just go back to the two things that you mentioned, you did mention some complacency setting into the security apparatus. And then you also mentioned that it was a great exercise when they were able to seize 2,900 kilograms of ammonium nitrate, an inflammable material. I wanted to understand, of course, that seizure, and that was happening on the same day that that blast also happened. Do you see this as an intelligence failure or an intelligence success?
Well, it's not an intelligence failure at all. See, as I told you, already even in Kashmir also, the SSP there, brilliant SSP, he had already zeroed on people through a small poster. If you have gone through the details, already lot of raids were being conducted, they were being planned. This was accidental, and in a way it was good that they were unmasked. Unfortunate it is that we lost lives. So already agencies had worked out this. See, what happens is, agencies have to be success 100 times, terrorists have to be successful only once.
Understood.
In this case, they were successful 99 times. Fortunately, unfortunately, our system is such that the good work done by intelligence agencies doesn't come to limelight. India's agencies have been doing a splendid work. India has been kept safe for a long time. I'm sure it will continue. But let me also tell you, terrorism is going to be very long haul. It's not going to end anytime soon. Enemies of India will always start. And problem is they're not only from outside, they're from within also. And Turkey government, of course, will not be ignored. Turkey will definitely say this. Which government will say that I am encouraging terrorists to go and create problems in other country? But the fact is that the person has been there. Now, whether he's a Pakistani or whether he's an original Turkey guy, we don't know. So of course, you do know on the bigger plane, Turkey has been supporting Pakistan and everything, including Kashmir also.
I hear you.
So I think this is a new angle and a challenging angle for us.
Mr. Vora, thanks so much for joining us here. And as you mentioned very correctly, that the intelligence agencies can go right 99 times, but then a terror activity or a terrorist only needs to get it or get past once, and then that's what gets highlighted. But of course, the intelligence agencies, they remain unsung heroes. Thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast. That was B.L. Vora.
Thank you for inviting me.
And to discuss furthermore, we are now being joined by our correspondent Dhanjot Kaur, who has been on the ground. Dhanjot, thank you so much for joining us. You have been looking forward and you have been analyzing all this from the ground there. Could you tell us where you are right now? It's been a week since the blast. How are things on the ground?
Well, Jyotsna, as you rightly mentioned, it's been a week, but things are back to normal. It will definitely not be normal for the families who have lost their loved ones and those who've been injured. But when it comes to life and livelihood on the streets of Delhi, things are returning to normalcy. Just to give you a quick look of where I am right now, I'm standing right at the site of the blast. To my right is gate number 1 of the Red Fort metro station, where the explosion, near which the explosion took place. And this entire area for the better part of last week has been completely barricaded. It was opened over the weekend to allow commuters to resume their normal routes, the normal areas, and allow access to this area back again. To my left is one of the gates of the Red Fort complex. Again, I think to which slowly and surely the visitors are being allowed back.
Dharam, can I request you to ask the camera person to pan around as you show us what's around you?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm just going to ask my video journalist to quickly pan and show you towards my left, and you could see traffic moving. It's still early hours of the day, Monday morning hours are still kicking in. But yes, right across, that's the traffic light. This entire area had been completely fortified, Shivan. You could still see some single line of barricades to ensure that a lot of traffic does not congest in the area. But as you can see, traffic is flowing both ways. This had been completely blocked since Monday evening, November 10th, 6:52 p.m. when the blast occurred. But now things are back to normal. The metro station to my right is also functioning as per normal again. We do know that the investigative agencies have made a breakthrough in the case. There's so many people that have been detained, have been questioned, have been arrested. So clearly, as the investigation progresses, life here on the roads of Lal Killa are returning back to normal.
Yeah, and Dharam, of course, you've been there at the Al Falah University as well. We were reporting from there. You've been at the Red Fort on the day that blast took place, and a week later. A lot has happened in this past 1 week. If you can give us a sense of where the investigation has reached so far.
Well, Shivan, the NIA did put out an official statement
Yes.
Last evening, and that's something that everyone has been waiting for. We've been hearing so much information from sources, so much unverified information that was doing the rounds that, did not have to be told to the public to avoid panic. But now the NIA, once it took over the case and started investigation, it has put out a statement saying they've arrested one key accomplice of the Dr. Omar Nabi, who was in the I-20 vehicle that exploded on the 10th of November. So he is clearly under investigation. He's being questioned to identify how widespread this entire nexus is, who are the other people involved in this entire conspiracy and this terror plot. There's also more than 73 witnesses that the NIA has detained and interrogated. Not all of them are suspects or linked to the case. It's important to clarify that. They've only been detained for questioning to try and understand how much they knew about the suspects, what kind of information they have about their whereabouts, their movement before the explosion took place, all things like that, to try and get to the bottom of this issue. But so far, that's where things stand. We do know that the NIA has confirmed the DNA found in the I-20 car is of Dr. Omar Nabi. So clearly a lot of more details that we've been discussing for the past week, they are now being confirmed slowly but surely.
Yes.
But the extent of this entire plot, that is something that's yet to be determined, that is still under probe. We do have agencies not just in Delhi but around in other states as well cracking down to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. But clearly it was a much wider nexus that is still under the scanner.
And that remains confirmed, Dharam. And as you had also mentioned, I'll just reiterate what you said, that we're trying to only put out facts which have been declared by the agencies officially to our audiences to avoid any kind of panic. Because a lot of news has been coming around, but we're only putting out what has been confirmed, because that's where things actually stand. That was Dharam Jodh getting us the latest from the Red Fort, exactly standing at the spot where the blast took place on the 10th of November.